Whoa, this video has a script. I haven't had one of those in a while. Hey, what's up? So thanks for all of your awesome comments on my Merlefest vlog from last week. I'm so glad you liked it. And on the subject of comments, there were quite a few people asking for more content on my last Spice Up Your G-Runs video. So here we are, making a part 2. Before we get into the meat of this video, I would like to point out that this video is made entirely from submissions from you guys. Thanks for doing all the hard work and research for me. Hopefully I can answer all of your questions. So right, I received a bunch of suggestions about what I should include, and I whittled that down to just a couple of my favorites so I could give you about 5 G-runs in this video, because that's kind of what I did in the last one. And here we go. Alright, so I got this comment. Hi Marcel, thank you so much for your excellent vlogs and transcriptions I have purchased. Would be great if you could cover the following Molly Tuttle and Del McCoury G-runs that I can't quite nail despite playing along and using slowdowns. Cool, thanks for the comment. Let's tackle them. Molly Tuttle first. Oh, and quick shout out to all the people that found this channel through my Molly Tuttle video. It seems like it's been bringing in a lot of new people for a while now, and we love having you here, and I guess if you haven't seen that video, you should check it out too. It'll probably be right up there. So in the version of Rain and Snow that I got linked to from Molly Tuttle, she did 2 G-runs that kind of stood out to me. Also, she's performing with the old bass player from the Barefoot Movement, and I mentioned that band in my Merlefest vlog if you didn't watch it yet. So the first G-run comes up just a few seconds into the video, and it's definitely an ornamented version of what I kind of called the stripped down and bluesy G-run from the first video in this series. In the performance, it sounds like this.
He gave me trouble all my life.
I think one of the most important things about this G-run is that it needs to be used in the right kind of tune. Molly Tuttle's band is giving us this kind of under-tempo driven kind of feel, and it's locked into the grid. It's real strict down, up, down, up, down, up. You know, a lot of times when we take bluegrass tunes and we try to slow them down, they become a little swingy. They have kind of a delayed 8th note, and that's not what they're doing here. They're staying on the grid, and it's kind of strict in their feel. Now, if you tried to take this lick and you put it in like a faster bluegrass tune that has boom chuck, you know, throughout, it probably wouldn't pack the same kind of punch. And if you took this lick and you tried to put it in a slower bluegrass tune that was swingy, it's probably not going to work at all because this lick really doesn't want to swing. Anyway, here's the tab for this lick. Alright, cool. So the other G-run that Molly Tuttle played that kind of stood out to me in this performance was the one that was at the end of her guitar break. That one sounds like this in the performance. So this is a real cool move. This is kind of like a deconstruction of the full-length but bluesy G-run from the first video in the series. So she hammers onto the root note from the flat 7th in the beginning of the lick, which puts our root note on an offbeat, which is really neat. And then as you move forward in the G lick, what we would expect is our open A string and then that minor third to our major third, but instead what she gives us is her open A string, and then she gives us her major third into the 4th degree. And the 4th degree is much more closely associated with the minor pentatonic, which is the feel that she's trying to give us after that. Anyway, here's the tab for that. Alright, so that last comment also mentioned a Del McCoury G-run. It should be really fun because Del's kind of famous for his influence that he had on the G-run. The tune is Get Down on Your Knees and Pray, and the G-run sounds like this. Oh, my brother. Alright, so there's a bunch of cool things I could say about this G-run just immediately, but the first thing I should say is that he uses a triplet on beat 4, so that means the lick is counted 1, 2, and 3, and triple 1. Now you can vocalize that however you want. You can, I don't know, you can just sing it if you want. Bum, 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 bum. But I really want you to get that rhythmic idea and concept in your head, because it's going to make it a lot easier to get it on your instrument and a lot easier to, you know, actually play it later if you can really feel what the rhythm is. The other thing that might have jumped out at you is that the last 5 pick strokes are all down. I guess you could call this kind of a rest stroke technique, but the Del certainly isn't thinking of it that way. So I guess a simple way to say this is that your downstroke is always going to have a little more weight and a little bit more force to it than your upstroke. So Del wants that in this run, so he just switches to all downstrokes. He's doing this very purposefully, and he's breaking kind of a day one rule that we're going to use alternate picking and down, up, down, up, down, up. So I wouldn't recommend that you do this all the time just because you want a line to be louder, more forceful. Don't do that. But this is a moment where it would be kind of advantageous to use that approach. If you want to get a bit more technical about what you'd kind of call this picking technique, you could definitely do a little more research into like economy picking or, like I said, the rest stroke. But that's all up to you. Don't feel like you got to do that just because you want to use some downs on this Del McCoury lick. Anyway, here's the tab for the lick. All right, so this next G run was given to me by Tab Latour. Somehow I doubt that that's their real name. But anyway, they said, really loving your vids. Keep them coming. One very extended G run that's fun to do, but I don't know where you'd see it, except maybe at a song ending is blah, 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 blah. They go on to explain how to play this lick. I am going to teach that lick. I'm just going to change the fingering a little bit because I think it's more fun this way. So here we go. This G run is 3 normal G runs stacked on top of each other. Now I'm going to give you this as a closed lick. That is to say, with no open strings. And the reason why is that when you look at the lick this way, it kind of gives you a cool way to get up the neck and get back down the neck. Now it looks like this. Moving on. All right, I got this comment from Kenneth Harris. Marcel, you are the lone voice of cool bluegrass licks and tunes in the YouTube wilderness of strummers and wailers. And yes, would love more on branching out in the G run. Maybe you could use a tab, clinch mountain backstep as example. Give them a mile and they want lemonade. Wow, really asking for a lot there, huh, Kenneth? Huh? Kenneth? Like I just got all the time in the world to write down an arrangement of clinch mountain backstep for you? Huh? Is that what you think? Is that what you think I got? Huh? Just write out that arrangement as some cool vehicle for some neat G run, huh, Kenneth? Huh? And on top of that, you want lemonade. You're asking me for lemonade, Kenneth? Yeah, you think that's funny. You think this is some elaborate bluegrass themed game, huh? Is that what it is to you? A game, Kenneth? Okay, so I'll cut a deal with you. I've already wasted a fair amount of time on this bit, so instead of giving you a full clinch bound backstep, I will give you the A part to clinch bound backstep, and it'll end with a neat triplet G run. Does that sound good? Good. You watch yourself, Kenneth. All right, before we wrap this up, I definitely want to continue this series. So what I need you to do is I need you to go down there and I need you to link me to a G run that you want me to figure out, and I'll do it for you. I'll get on it ASAP. I promise. Also, feel free to leave a comment for Kenneth for being a good sport. I think he earned it. Anyway, if you like taking a lesson from the biggest, baddest Billy Goat in the barnyard, there is a couple things you can do for me. Number 1, you can subscribe to this channel. You can hit that bell icon if you want notifications. You can give this video a like. You can scroll down. You can leave a comment for me. There's 3 other big places you can find me. That is Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On Instagram, there is another account I run called Jazz and Grass, and that's a new guitar lick every single weekday. After that, there is my website, lessonswithmarcel.com. Lots of free stuff on there, some tabs you can buy, and that's also where you can sign up for Skype lessons if you're interested. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.